There's a quote from my auntie who passed away, and I said, I want to thank you for being who you were and looking after me when I was a little boy.
Eric Clapton, the legendary guitarist and singer-songwriter, has long been celebrated for his extraordinary musical talent and contributions to rock and blues. However, in recent years, he made a significant decision to step away from the stage, leaving fans wondering about the reasons behind his withdrawal from live performances. Clapton's choice to take a hiatus is multifaceted, intertwining personal health issues, a desire for privacy, and evolving artistic priorities. One of the primary factors influencing his decision is his ongoing battle with health problems, including peripheral neuropathy, which causes discomfort and numbness in his hands. This condition has not only affected his ability to play the guitar, but also his overall comfort on stage, leading to concerns about his performance quality. As a musician who has always held high standards for his craft, Clapton's frustration with his health struggles undoubtedly played a crucial role in his decision to step back. Additionally, Clapton has expressed a growing desire for privacy and a simpler lifestyle. After decades of relentless touring and fame, he has shown a preference for enjoying quieter moments away from the spotlight, focusing on personal life and family. This shift reflects a broader trend among artists seeking to reclaim their time and energy outside of their public personas. Moreover, Clapton has been open about his evolving relationship with music. While he continues to compose and create, he has indicated a shift in his artistic focus, exploring different genres and styles that resonate more deeply with him in this stage of his life. This introspection may have contributed to his decision to reduce live performances, allowing him the freedom to pursue musical projects on his own terms. Eric Clapton's decision to step away from the stage is rooted in a combination of health challenges, a desire for privacy, and a shifting artistic vision. As fans, it's essential to respect his choices and appreciate the legacy he has created, understanding that even icons need time to recharge and redefine their paths. Peripheral neuropathy, a painful challenge for Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton's battle with peripheral neuropathy has been one of the most impactful factors influencing his decision to step away from the stage. Peripheral neuropathy is a condition that results from damage to the peripheral nerves, which are responsible for sending messages from the brain and spinal cord to the rest of the body. The condition often causes weakness, numbness, and pain, particularly in the hands and feet, which are crucial for a guitarist like Clapton. Clapton first publicly revealed his diagnosis of peripheral neuropathy in 2016. For years, he had experienced discomfort in his legs and feet, but the pain gradually intensified, eventually affecting his ability to walk and, more importantly, play the guitar. Clapton described the sensation as feeling like electric shocks going down your leg, a discomfort that would worsen after extended periods of standing or playing. For a musician of Clapton's caliber, this condition presents significant challenges. The pain, numbness, and muscle weakness associated with peripheral neuropathy have a direct impact on his ability to execute the intricate finger movements required to play his iconic blues and rock solos. Although Clapton's musical prowess has always been characterized by his fluidity and precision on the guitar, the gradual onset of peripheral neuropathy has forced him to adapt and reconsider his approach to live performances. In live shows, Clapton has had to contend with moments where the pain is overwhelming, impacting his ability to deliver the kind of performances his fans have come to expect over the years. Despite his efforts to manage the condition through medical treatments and lifestyle adjustments, Clapton has acknowledged that it will likely continue to be a progressive issue as he ages. This understanding has led him to scale back his touring schedule significantly, opting for shorter, less physically demanding concerts. Even though Clapton has adapted to his condition to some extent, the limitations imposed by peripheral neuropathy have undoubtedly influenced his decision to step away from the stage. The unpredictability of flare-ups means that every performance could be compromised, and at this stage in his life and career, Clapton appears to be more interested in preserving his health and comfort than pushing himself to endure the physical toll of extensive tours. Despite the physical limitations brought on by the condition, Clapton remains committed to music. He continues to write, record, and play guitar in a more controlled, comfortable environment, one where the physical demands are less taxing. His love for music remains undiminished, but peripheral neuropathy has forced him to take a step back from the high-energy, long-hour performances that once defined his career. Instead of long tours, he has opted for select appearances at special events or charity concerts where he can perform on his terms. Clapton has been candid about the emotional and physical toll of dealing with peripheral neuropathy. He has acknowledged the frustrations and challenges it presents, but has also expressed a sense of acceptance. At this stage in his life, Clapton is more focused on maintaining his health and enjoying his family life, rather than striving to meet the expectations of a grueling touring schedule. Clapton's decision to step away from the stage is rooted in the recognition that his body can no longer handle the demands of constant live performances. Peripheral neuropathy has forced him to adjust his lifestyle, but it hasn't dampened his passion for music. He remains an iconic figure in the world of blues and rock, and his choice to focus on other aspects of his life and career is a testament to his resilience and adaptability in the face of physical adversity. Hearing loss and tinnitus, the hidden battle of Eric Clapton. Another critical reason for Eric Clapton stepping away from the stage is his battle with hearing loss and tinnitus. Clapton, like many musicians who have spent decades performing in high-volume environments, has faced the inevitable toll of constant exposure to loud music. This condition is common among musicians, but for someone like Clapton, whose life and career revolve around music, it has been particularly challenging. Tinnitus, which Clapton has openly discussed, is a condition characterized by a constant ringing or buzzing in the ears. For many, it can be a mild nuisance, but for others, including Clapton, it can be debilitating. The persistent noise makes it difficult to concentrate, sleep, or even enjoy the quieter moments of life. When paired with hearing loss, it becomes even more problematic, especially for a musician who relies heavily on his auditory senses to perform and create. Clapton's hearing loss began subtly, as it often does, with difficulties in distinguishing certain tones or conversations in noisy environments. Over the years, the damage became more pronounced, leading to a gradual decline in his ability to hear music in the same way he once could. For a guitarist whose playing is renowned for its emotional nuance and attention to detail, this loss has been particularly painful. The symptoms of tinnitus, in particular, can be exacerbated by high volumes, which are a staple of live performances. The loud amplifiers, crowd noise, and general atmosphere of concerts contribute to the worsening of this condition, making it increasingly difficult for Clapton to perform at the level he once did. Despite his legendary status, Clapton has admitted that these issues have become more than just an inconvenience. They have seriously impacted his ability to perform live. The psychological toll of hearing loss and tinnitus is also profound. Clapton, in various interviews, has spoken about how isolating these conditions can feel. Being unable to hear music in the way he once did has led to a sense of frustration and sadness, not just because it affects his performances, but also because it takes away a fundamental joy in his life. Music, for Clapton, is not just a profession, but a passion, and to lose the ability to fully engage with it has been devastating. Despite advances in technology, such as hearing aids and treatments designed to manage tinnitus, these conditions remain difficult to control. For Clapton, the unpredictability of his hearing loss and tinnitus means that every performance is a risk. Some days may be better than others, but the constant worry that a performance could be marred by a sudden bout of tinnitus or difficulty hearing the band has contributed to his decision to step back from touring. Clapton's candor about his hearing issues has resonated with many fans and fellow musicians. It has opened up a conversation about the often overlooked risks associated with prolonged exposure to loud music, and many younger musicians have since become more mindful of protecting their hearing. Clapton has even suggested that, had he been more aware of the dangers earlier in his career, he might have taken greater precautions. In Clapton's earlier years, hearing protection was not as widely discussed or considered as it is today. Musicians were expected to play through the noise, and earplugs were rarely used during performances. As a result, many musicians from Clapton's generation are now dealing with the long-term consequences of this constant exposure, and Clapton is no exception. Although hearing loss and tinnitus have taken a toll on his ability to perform live, Clapton continues to work on music in a studio environment where he can better control the sound levels and mitigate the effects of his conditions. He has adapted by surrounding himself with trusted engineers and musicians who understand his limitations, allowing him to continue creating music without the pressures of live performance. Clapton's decision to step back from extensive touring is a result of his desire to preserve what remains of his hearing and to avoid worsening his condition. He has come to terms with the fact that his live performance days may be numbered, but he remains active in the studio, where he can still contribute creatively and work within the bounds of his physical limitations. By sharing his struggles, Clapton has not only raised awareness about hearing loss and tinnitus among musicians, but also demonstrated the importance of adapting to life's challenges. His choice to prioritize his health and hearing over the demands of constant touring is a reflection of his wisdom and maturity. Recognizing that his contributions to music extend beyond live performances, age-related challenges, Clapton's journey through time. As Eric Clapton entered his late 70s, age-related challenges became increasingly apparent, and they have played a significant role in his decision to reduce his live performances. Aging is a natural process that every artist faces, but for Clapton, whose career has spanned over 5 decades, the physical demands of touring and performing have grown more difficult to manage. Live performances require tremendous physical and mental endurance. Hours on stage, intense focus, and repetitive hand movements all take a toll on the body. Clapton, who has always been known for his electric and acoustic guitar prowess, found that these demands became more taxing as he aged. The combination of standing for extended periods, maintaining energy, and delivering flawless guitar solos became more challenging with each passing year. While Clapton has always been in relatively good health, aside from his struggles with addiction, the natural effects of aging have slowed him down. Endurance, stamina, and recovery time are all affected by age, and for Clapton, this meant having to adapt to a slower pace. What was once second nature to him, touring for months on end and playing night after night, became a grueling task that no longer aligned with his physical capabilities. One of the key indicators of aging for Clapton has been his declining finger dexterity. As any guitarist knows, the ability to move fingers quickly and precisely is crucial to delivering high-quality performances. With age, Clapton noticed that his hands no longer responded as swiftly or accurately as they used to. This change, though gradual, has had a significant impact on his confidence and ability to maintain the same level of performance that defined much of his career. Moreover, the traveling associated with touring has become more exhausting. Frequent flights, different time zones, and the constant movement from one city to another can be physically draining, especially for someone in their 70s. Clapton, who once thrived on the adrenaline of performing for live audiences, found that the toll of traveling became too much to bear. Beyond the physical aspects of aging, there is also the psychological shift that comes with getting older. Clapton has spoken about how his priorities have changed over the years. In his younger days, his career was his central focus, and he was driven by a passion for music and performance. However, as he has grown older, Clapton has expressed a desire to slow down and enjoy a more relaxed lifestyle, spending time with his family and reflecting on his long and illustrious career. These age-related challenges have led Clapton to reevaluate what is most important to him. While his love for music remains undiminished, the need to constantly prove himself through live performances has faded. Clapton has already cemented his legacy as one of the greatest guitarists in history, and at this stage of his life, he no longer feels the same urgency to be on the road year after year. His decision to step away from touring is not a sign of giving up, but rather a natural evolution in the life of an artist who has given so much to the world of music. Clapton continues to perform in select special events that allow him to play without the pressures of a full tour. These one-off performances offer a way for him to remain connected to his audience while acknowledging the realities of his age. Clapton's decision to step back from live performances is an acknowledgement of the physical limitations that come with aging, and a recognition of the importance of prioritizing his health and well-being. Eric Clapton's shift in priorities. One of the major reasons behind Eric Clapton stepping away from the stage is his shift in personal priorities, especially his desire to spend more time with his family. Clapton has lived an extraordinary life filled with success, fame, and critical acclaim. But as he has gotten older, his focus has increasingly shifted away from his career and toward his family life. This shift has been a defining factor in his decision to slow down and retreat from the demands of constant touring and live performances. Clapton has spoken openly about the fact that in his younger years, his career came before everything else. His intense focus on music often led to the neglect of his personal relationships, particularly his relationships with his children. Clapton has fathered multiple children with different women throughout his life, and some of those relationships were marked by distance and regret. Perhaps the most publicized tragedy in his personal life was the loss of his son, Connor, who tragically died in 1991. Connor's death had a profound impact on Clapton, leading him to reconsider his priorities and how he wanted to spend the rest of his life. In more recent years, Clapton has been vocal about his desire to be more present for his family, particularly his children and grandchildren. After decades of dedicating his life to music, he now feels the need to spend quality time with the people he loves, away from the hectic life of constant travel and performances. Clapton has acknowledged that the time he spent on the road in the past came at the expense of forming deeper bonds with his family, and now that he has the chance, he wants to make up for lost time. Clapton's relationship with his wife, Melia McNary, has also played a significant role in his changing outlook on life. The couple married in 2002, and they have 3 daughters together, Julie, Ella, and Sophie. Clapton has often described how much his family means to him, and how being a father later in life has given him a sense of peace and fulfillment that he didn't experience during his earlier years of fame. Now, in his late 70s, Clapton values the time he gets to spend at home with his family, rather than the grueling demands of being on the road. This shift in priorities is a reflection of Clapton's evolution, not only as an artist, but also as a person. In his younger days, he was consumed by the need for success, the pursuit of artistic perfection, and the highs and lows that came with life in the limelight. But now, having achieved everything a musician could dream of, Grammy Awards, induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and global recognition, Clapton feels content stepping away from that life. In interviews, Clapton has emphasized how much joy he derives from being a more hands-on father and grandfather. Instead of rushing from one city to another, he now takes time to do things that may seem mundane but are deeply meaningful to him, like picking up his children from school or attending their events. These simple pleasures were things he often missed in his earlier years due to his hectic schedule, and now they are the moments he cherishes most. Clapton's retreat from the stage also coincides with his desire for a quieter, more peaceful existence. After years of living in the public eye, Clapton has expressed a longing for a simpler life, one where he can enjoy his hobbies, spend time with loved ones, and reflect on his journey. While he still loves music and continues to create, the urgency to be at the forefront of the music industry has diminished. Clapton recognizes that he has nothing left to prove, and his family's happiness and well-being have become his top priority. Additionally, Clapton has expressed a desire to be a positive influence on his children, guiding them through life with the wisdom he has gained over the years. Having struggled with addiction and personal challenges, Clapton understands the importance of being there for his children, offering them guidance and support as they navigate their own paths. His shift in priorities is also part of a broader desire to leave behind a different kind of legacy, one rooted in love, family, and personal fulfillment, rather than just professional achievement. While the world knows Clapton as a guitar legend, to his family, he wants to be remembered as a caring father and husband, someone who was present when it mattered most. In many ways, Clapton's decision to step away from the stage reflects the maturity that comes with age and experience. He has reached a point in his life where his personal happiness and the well-being of his family take precedence over the pressures of performing. By stepping back, Clapton is embracing this new chapter of his life with the same passion and dedication that he once applied to his music career. Sobriety and recovery. Eric Clapton's battle with addiction has been a major part of his life story, and his journey towards sobriety has also influenced his decision to step away from the stage. Clapton has been open about his struggles with alcohol and drugs, particularly during the height of his fame in the 1970s and 1980s. His addiction to heroin, alcohol, and cocaine nearly derailed his career multiple times, and it wasn't until he found sobriety that he was able to regain control of his life and career. Clapton's addiction journey began in the late 1960s and early 1970s, when the pressures of fame, personal insecurities, and a deep sense of isolation led him to turn to substances as a way to cope. Like many rock stars of that era, Clapton was caught in a destructive cycle of excess, with drugs and alcohol becoming a central part of his life. His addiction led to erratic behavior, health issues, and an overall decline in his musical output during certain periods. The turning point came in the late 1980s, after several attempts to get clean. Clapton entered rehab and made the decision to pursue sobriety seriously. He credits his recovery to the 12-step program and has remained sober ever since. However, the impact of those years of addiction left lasting physical and emotional scars. Clapton has often spoken about how difficult it was to rebuild his life after addiction, and how sobriety gave him a second chance at both his career and his personal life. For Clapton, sobriety not only meant reclaiming his health, but also reevaluating his priorities. While live performances are marked by spontaneity and audience interaction, studio work allows for a different kind of artistry, one that is meticulous, deliberate, and exploratory. For Clapton, the studio has always been a space where he could experiment with new sounds, revisit old influences, and collaborate with other musicians in a way that is more intimate and focused than the often chaotic environment of a live concert. One of the key benefits of focusing on studio work is the ability to refine ideas over time. Unlike live performances where the energy and execution are immediate and sometimes imperfect, the studio allows Clapton to polish his work to the highest possible standard. This level of creative control is something Clapton has always valued. In the studio, he can revisit tracks, fine-tune guitar parts, and ensure that every note, rhythm, and lyric aligns with his artistic vision. For a perfectionist like Clapton, this is a crucial aspect of maintaining his musical integrity, especially as his physical limitations have made live performance more challenging. Clapton's studio albums have reflected his desire to explore new musical directions while staying rooted in the blues, the genre that has defined much of his career. His 2016 album, I Still Do, is a testament to this blend of tradition and innovation. In the album, Clapton revisits his blues influences while incorporating a more reflective, mature sound that speaks to his years of experience as both a musician and a person. Tracks like Spiral and Catch the Blues highlight Clapton's ability to channel his personal struggles, including his health issues, into his music in a way that feels authentic and deeply emotional. One of the exciting aspects of Clapton's studio work is the opportunity to collaborate with a diverse array of musicians. Over the years, Clapton has worked with artists from across the musical spectrum, from blues legends like B.B. King to contemporary artists like Ed Sheeran. These collaborations have allowed Clapton to expand his musical horizons while staying true to the blues-based sound that has always been at the core of his identity. In the studio, Clapton is free to experiment with different genres, sounds, and production techniques, creating music that feels fresh while paying homage to the traditions that inspired him. Clapton's decision to focus on studio work also reflects his deep appreciation for the recording process itself. In interviews, Clapton has spoken about how much he enjoys the technical aspects of recording, from working with sound engineers to experimenting with different guitar tones. The studio offers an environment where Clapton can immerse himself in the details of his craft without the distractions of a live audience or the logistics of touring. This controlled environment allows Clapton to push the boundaries of his creativity in ways that might not be possible on stage. Another key aspect of Clapton's shift towards studio work is his desire to leave behind a lasting legacy of recorded music. While live performances are fleeting, studio recordings are permanent, offering a way for Clapton to continue sharing his music with the world even after he is no longer able to perform. Clapton has always been acutely aware of his place in music history, and by focusing on studio albums, he is ensuring that his musical contributions will endure long after he steps away from the stage for good. One of the projects that Clapton has focused on in the studio is reimagining and revisiting his older work. Over the years, Clapton has released several albums where he has reinterpreted songs from his extensive catalog, offering new perspectives on classics like Layla and Tears in Heaven. These reworkings allow Clapton to breathe new life into familiar songs while reflecting on how his relationship with the music has changed over time. In the studio, Clapton can approach these songs with fresh ears, using his years of experience to enhance the emotional depth and musical complexity of the original recordings. Clapton's studio work also allows him to explore themes that are personally meaningful to him, including his reflections on aging, spirituality, and mortality. As Clapton has entered the later stages of his life, his music has taken on a more introspective tone. For Clapton, the studio has become a place of solace and self-expression, offering a way to continue making music on his own terms. While the physical demands of live performance have become increasingly difficult, the studio provides a space where Clapton can continue to create without the same pressures. This shift towards studio work has allowed Clapton to remain active as an artist while adapting to the realities of his health challenges. Clapton's focus on studio work also highlights his ongoing commitment to the blues, a genre that has been the foundation of his career. Even as Clapton explores new musical directions, the blues remains at the heart of his sound. In the studio, Clapton has the freedom to delve deep into the nuances of the blues, experimenting with different interpretations and expanding the genre in innovative ways. This dedication to the blues is evident in Clapton's collaborations with younger blues artists, as he continues to pass on the traditions of the genre to a new generation of musicians. Eric Clapton's shift towards studio work represents a new phase in his career, one where creativity is no longer bound by the demands of live performance. The studio offers Clapton a space where he can continue to explore his musical identity, collaborate with other artists, and leave behind a lasting legacy of recorded music. For Clapton, this transition is not a retreat, but an opportunity to redefine what it means to be an artist in the later stages of life. By focusing on studio work, Clapton is ensuring that his music will continue to inspire and resonate with audiences for years to come, even as he steps away from the stage.